everyone, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to do the Thanksgiving book tag. I wasn't nominated by anybody to do this or anything. I just was looking up for different prompts and stuff, and I wanted to do something for Thanksgiving. Well, I found this on Blogging with Dragons. So this is just a blog that I found on Google, and I think she did a really good job with it. And so then I wanted to also give credit to the creator who created this book tag, and that is Annasbooknook. So go check her out. But let's go ahead and get into the questions for the Thanksgiving book tag. The question one, it's friends and family. So a book with characters that feel like family. So there was no debate on my side for this whatsoever. But that, the book that I've read that to me feels like family is Six of Crows. So you've got a ragtag group of individuals, and they go on a heist together, and they bicker like family members, they work together like family members, like they are a unit, and there's nothing that they wouldn't do for one another. And you see that in the second book as well, since this is a duology by Leigh Bardugo. And this takes place in the Grisha universe. This is just on a different area of the Grisha map or the Grisha world. So this is by far one of my favorite heist books or series. I think it's great, and just the family and friends aspect of this, it's great. The banter, the camaraderie, the loyalty, all of that is phenomenal. So question number 2 is Fallen Leaves, a book that fell flat. So I know a lot of you are probably gonna get upset with me, but a book that fell flat for me was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. And to be quite honest, the first and the second book really fell flat for me. The third one picked it back up. It kind of saved the series, I think, in my opinion. But I don't know. I didn't feel it, I guess, I don't know how else to say that. But yeah, The Cruel Prince for me really fell flat. I wish I liked it more. Will I read it again? Maybe at some point. But right now, that's not high on my priority list for a reread. But yeah, unfortunately, this one fell flat for me. Question 3 is Thanksgiving dinner. So a book you want to read every year during this season. Well, I picked The Hobbit. This one, it's just mystical, adventure, fantasy, camaraderie. It's funny, it's got everything, and so to me, I think it's great. Have I read it around this time of year yet? No, but I could definitely see myself doing that, just because of how the book is written. So in my opinion, I think this one is a great choice to read around Thanksgiving every year. I did read this earlier this year, probably end of August, I think, right the start of fall. But yeah, this one would be something that I would read every year, probably around the fall time. So the next is Turkey A book with a bird in it. Well, to me that would be The Poppy War because, well, if you haven't read it, you would find out when you read it why I'm picking this one and why I'm saying it has a bird in it. If you have read it, you know. And so then that goes on throughout the series. This is a grimdark fantasy, and I'll tell you what, R.F. Kuang does a phenomenal job that like taking the Chinese history of this like time period and, you know, twisting it into not only real events but also that fantastical element. Like, this is a phenomenal book and I really need to reread it. It's been a couple or 3 years since I've read this series, but yeah, I have all three. It's really great. It's one of those series where, you know, you have a very flawed main character, so like you kind of get annoyed with some things that she does, but then at the same time you're also rooting for her as well. So it's got that like combination, and R.F. Kuang does such a great job with that. But yes, this is my choice for a book with a bird in it. So question number 5, it has to do with Ham, a book that made your eyes glaze over, which they're saying boring. Well, unfortunately that is Sea Sparrow by Christian Kishore. This one, I don't know. This one just really was boring to me, and it's pretty thick. It took me a long time to get through it, and I came out of it in a major reading slump just because of how boring it was. I don't know. I really enjoyed her Gracelane and her Fire books, but then as the next 3 just continued to get boring, more boring, and then most boring in my opinion. So like, if she comes out with another one, I'm probably not going to get it or read it, which is unfortunate because the first 2 I think are phenomenal. Like, they were great. But yeah, this one, it was just super boring to me, and I wish it wasn't, but what can you do? Question 6 is Dinner Rolls, a book that melted your heart and made you feel warm. Well, shouldn't be any surprise here, but that is Powerless. This YA book literally had me, I like melted everywhere, unwell. Like, it was just a roller coaster ride for me. And like, cause there was like parts where it's like, yes, and made you all warm and fuzzy inside, and then there was parts where it's like, no, why? So that's what I'm talking about, a roller coaster ride of emotions. But I had to pick this one for the Dinner Rolls just because of how I felt reading this, and oh my gosh. So the third one comes out in, I think, April of 2025, and I'm telling you, the second one left you on a cliffhanger, and I don't know what to do right now. So probably what's gonna happen is before it comes out, I'll be rereading Powerless and Reckless and getting all of my Kai and Peyton together, and then finish it off with hopefully a happy ending in the third one. So question 7 has to do with Mashed Potatoes, a book with a white cover. Well, for me, that is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I actually got all of his Mistborn in the UK cover, which is the white and blue cover. So as you can see, like, I love these. Now granted, it just came out with a brand new cover for the US, and I do like those, and they're floppy, but I like these. I don't know why. And I don't really want to go buy another set when I already have one. So, and I don't have room on my shelf for another set. So let's be honest. But yeah, this was my choice for the white cover. Question number 8 has to do with gravy. And it says, a book you're not totally sure why you love, but you do. And again, I have an R.F. Kuang book, and that is Yellowface. So this is her first book of literary fiction. And again, it has a flawed character, but it takes place about like in our normal world, and it has to do with the publishing industry. And I think that I'm not sure why I love it other than, you know, just her writing style. I think like it was short and it was super quick to get into and then to finish because of her writing style. But it was also just like, this main character is terrible, but yet I couldn't stop reading. So I think like that's why I'm not sure why I love it. I think it was just the drama-filled book that this was that made me continue to read and come out of it being like, yes, this was fantastic. Question number 9 is pumpkin pie. So really it just says a dessert book that you love. It didn't really give me anything else. So I'm going to take it as my favorite series. And so I'm just going to throw up one book, but it is through the whole multiple series that she has, and that is The Shadowhunters by Cassandra Clare. This is a YA series, and she's got 4 different series right now that are fully completed and out. She's working on the 5th and the final, which makes me very sad. But I mean, this was fantastic when I started reading it. I love everything that it has to do. It's an urban fantasy, so it takes place in our world, but it pulls in mystical and magical creatures along with demons and angels, and you've got the Shadowhunters, which are Nephilim. So they're the offspring of angels, and they fight to keep the demons away. And just Cassandra Clare literally knows how to rip your heart out and then give it back to you later on and then rip it out again. And I think that's why I keep coming back. I just apparently enjoy that pain. Not sure why, but I do. And she writes fantastic characters. I mean, absolutely fantastic. So this is my dessert series. I've got a bonus question, and it's called Black Friday. So the top 5 books on your I want to buy them list. So I will post them right here on the screen for each one that I read off. And the first one is Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson. So that one, it comes out at the end of the year, but I'm gonna wait to buy the until the paperback comes out, because I have all of the paperbacks and I really don't want to invest in buying the hardcovers. So I think the paperback will come out like 6 months after the hardback comes out. So, but I can wait, it'll be okay. I've still only read book 1, so I have a ways to go until I need to read Wind and Truth. but that is the first one on my list. The second one is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I've had this pre-ordered since the day it became available to pre-order, and that is coming out in end of January. So I will be getting that one. That is second on my list to buy. The third one is The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. So this one is just an epic fantasy. I believe it has to do with a chosen one trope. But the premise of it just sounds so good, and it's very intriguing to me. So I think it's a duology. Both books are out, so I really need to get those on my shelf. The fourth one is The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. I have the first two in the Scholomance series. I haven't bought this one yet just because I haven't read the second one yet. That one is still on my TBR, but as soon as I read the second one, I'm probably going to buy the third one so that way I can read that and finish the series. And then the fifth one is Gardens of the Moon, or also known as the Malazan series by Steven Erikson. So this one is a series that I have heard a lot about. It's one of those, if you're a fantasy reader, you read this series. I've heard it's very difficult to navigate and understand just because of the multiple POVs, I believe. So like when I start getting into this, I'll probably have to read it very slowly just so that way I can understand what is going on. But those are the 5 books on my top want to buy list right now. So let me know some answers to these questions for you guys down below in the comments. I would love to know. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you've lost,